one of the keys to the success was to get leading amateurs who love tennis to play with the pros. So I contacted Stefan and Sir Robert Mathers. Sir Robert was fine, he was in Brisbane, but Stefan was in Russia, and so I had to contact him and say, would you be available? So, amazing person that he is and was, he cancelled his trip in Russia and flew back and played in the tennis.
Morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Racey here from Frew Park YouTube channel. And I'm discovering this morning that not quite as professional as Jimmy Shepherd, who really did that interview about Mel Anderson just quite well. And job well done there, Jimmy. I'm going to give you another one. You can talk about Trevor Fancutt now, next. Okay. So what we hear in this particular one is in the series, and where this one actually will be attached into, plus in other locations, the Stefan Racket. Now, Stefan Racket is just key to the success of Frew Park here, and Stefan got involved in tennis, and I worked out that he got involved in tennis, and one of the persons he loved playing with was Sir Robert Mathers, one of the legends of Queensland. However, how did Sir Robert get involved in tennis? Well, I now know the answer, and Don, you're going to tell us.
Well, it was funny because I spent some time working with a good friend of mine, Tony Barton, who owned Barton Agencies. They were the Adidas distributors and agents for Queensland. And the Adidas footwear was just becoming strong, and Tony was very friendly with Bob Mather, and through Bob, the group adopted the shoes, and a friendship was struck. I was lucky enough to be there and met Bob, and that's where that developed. Tony and Bob had been friendly for a long time, and Tony was a really keen sports person. He loved his golf and he loved his tennis. So Bob used to, through Tony, play on Tony's court out at Newcastle, maybe, and then Steve or Stefan and Bob would get involved playing, and they'd have their famous little matches at Milton, and have a beer or $1 on it, whatever it be, and it developed from there, and then the friendship struck, and Bob spent a lot of time out here at Milton, as did Stefan, and hence through, again it goes back, I think, through Trevor Fancutt's family, where Steve actually, or Stefan was involved, and one thing led to another, and then the large tennis racket was born.
Yep.
And put out at Milton.
And it's still here, thank goodness.
Yeah, and it's out there again, and that was a landmark, because from far and wide over the state, anyone that came to Brisbane looking for Milton, they'd just say, well, just find the big racket there, and it was a wonderful attribute, and it's great to see it back.
And I was talking to Matthew Burke, the chair of Parks, this morning, at a committee meeting that I attended here this morning, and the good thing about it is that it's gone back and it is lit. And they've gone to great trouble, and so people can drive past at night time and it will be lit at night. It's just going to be a fantastic asset for Brisbane, and you know, I can just see people standing in front of it wanting their photos taken. It's really just a wonderful tribute that Stefan's donated it back for the second time.
Absolutely, and being down on the ground where it is now, they can do that. They can take the photographs. Prior to that, obviously,
a little bit hard.
You couldn't do that. It was just a shot of the centre, but it was something that was unique to anywhere in Australia, and this giant racket went up, and it sort of helped really rebuild tennis in Queensland, because that was a little bit toward the trying to work out what date it was, but I think it was in about the 80s,
84, 85
when that went in. And tennis was still very strong, but with all this new surges and with more interest in tennis, it started to really kick along again. So
yeah, well, it's not often an iconic asset gets the opportunity to help a city and a sport twice, but the Stefan Racket's going to get it.
It'll stand the test of time.
It certainly will. They've very beautifully restored it, and rust-proofed it, and so it should be there for hopefully another 50 or 60 years, and like my grandfather's axe, if they replace the handle or the body of it, it'll be there a lot longer.
Well, you know, it takes fellows like Sir Robert Mathers and Stefan to get together and do these things, because they've got the capacity to do it, but they don't necessarily have to. So hats off to what they're doing.
Yeah, no, it's great, and this is just a wonderful park. I feel like those television commentators just standing here looking out, and I'll do a pan in a second again, at this beautiful site today. It was just fantastic, isn't it?
This is just absolutely wonderful, and the memories and the history that's been here, as indicated, I grew up in Toowoomba as a boy, and I'd come down here as a young lad, and you could not wait to get here just to be part of what Wilkie represented.
I'm sure that'll still be the case.
No, will, yes.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do, we're going to finish this one off. I will do the pan and attach it, but now we're going to get our newly discovered star, Jimmy Shepherd, back to talk about the Fancutts, Trevor in particular. Thank you.
I don't know what would have happened if we'd have had an injury or broken down. We had no reserve or third player, and we won that event. It took all week to play. It preceded the Australian Open Championship.